In the Heart of the Word, Reflections by Father Joseph Mary, SCTJM, on the daily readings from the Holy Mass, Tuesday of the 18th week of Ordinary Time, Memorial of Saint Dominic, Priest.
God bless you, dear family. Today in the Heart of the Word, Jesus tells the disciples to get in a boat and sends them away. Then he goes up the mountain to pray, and while he is praying at the darkest time of the night, a storm comes with strong winds and powerful waves, and the boat begins to sink. Then Jesus comes to the disciples walking on the water. The disciples think it is a ghost and are terrified. Jesus tells them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." Then something happens that only St. Matthew records in his gospel. Peter, seeing the Lord, replies, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And Jesus says, "Come." Peter gets out of the boat and begins to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he sees how strong the winds are and the waves before him, he begins to sink. Then Peter cries out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately, Jesus stretches out his hand and brings Peter into the boat with him. The wind stops, the waves cease, and Jesus says to the disciples, "Oh, you men of little faith, why did you doubt?" My brothers and sisters, what a night for the apostles, and what a teaching moment for them and for us. What does Jesus want us to learn? Jesus on the mountain is an image of Jesus now, risen from the dead. The boat is a sign of the church threatened by the storms of history. Jesus is aware of the storms that surround us, of all that threatens human life and the various ideologies of our time. But the Lord remains close to us in a way that we can see him, but also not see him. He's risen from the dead and truly hidden in the Holy Eucharist. By faith, we are invited like Peter to walk on the water, to walk by faith. It seems impossible, but Jesus tells us to come to him. And what is our temptation? The same as Peter's, to focus on the storms and to lose sight of the Lord. Today, the Lord Jesus reminds us that he is with us in the boat of our personal history, truly alive and close to us in the Blessed Sacrament. And he calls us to go to him, to pray to him, to learn to walk on water like Peter, not focusing on the difficulties and obstacles, but keeping our eyes on him. And we cry out like Peter in those difficult moments, "Lord, save us," trusting that he will. Let us listen to these words of Mother Adela. The crisis of faith is the great flood which threatens the spiritual survival of humanity today. That is why we need to enter into the Immaculate Heart, the new ark for these difficult times. And those who are in the ark are close to the heart of Christ, who tells us, "Take courage, it is I, be not afraid." All for the heart of Jesus, through the heart of Mary.